Hello there. I'm just doing this video on the 25th anniversary of United winning. I don't think we called it the Champions League back then. I'm sure it was European Cup, but winning the European Cup in the treble season. I watched recently a documentary on Netflix. No, sorry, Amazon Prime, and it gave the sort of the players and the management story, but not the fans. So I was I'm feeling very nostalgic this evening, and also, of course, I'm quite buoyant after after we won the FA Cup final yesterday against City. I thought I'd share with you some of my memories. When I watched the treble video with my son over, the past 10 years or whatever it is, 15 years. Every time I watched it, I've sort of keep on saying, "Oh, how was that game? How was that game? Oh, I can't remember if it was that game." And literally, there's certain games stuck out, and I couldn't remember all of them until actually recently, only a few months ago, I found this list. This list here was given out to me after the end of the season by the branch. The guy controlled the Glasgow United branch, Dave Sharkey, and it showed how many games actually went to that season in the league at home, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games. I tried to get to like one a month because even looking at this, the bus cost was 16 quid. That was from Glasgow to Manchester and back, and the price of the ticket was 18 quid. 18 quid a ticket. Yeah, you could still go down there to Old Trafford, have 50 quid and buy some pies and a drink and still come home with some change. My God, that doesn't happen anymore. So anyway, certain games did stand out for me. I think we only lost 3 times that season. And I was at 2 of those games. We lost against Middlesbrough at home, 3-1. Fergie wasn't the manager. I think there was a bereavement in the family, and also Sheffield Wednesday away at Hillsborough. I was that game as well, where we lost. I think it was 3-1 as well. Other games really did stick out. The Liverpool game, the Arsenal game that I was at, and of course there were other games that stuck out. Like I never got to go to the FA Cup final. Semi at Villa, the second game. I can always remember the Giggsy goal, and I literally ran around the room. I didn't take off my top, obviously, and it was. And I went to work the next day, and everybody, and I was in Glasgow, and they were mostly Celtic and Rangers fans, were just talking about that game. It was, and that goal. It was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. How things could have been different. If Dennis Bergkamp had scored the goal, history would have been different. But there you go. This is the thing about history. Manchester United did the historic treble. And of course City sort of did the same last season. However, who remembers the second couple of blokes who climbed Everest? Nobody, because they never made history. So that's a good way to equate that one. So anyway, I will tell you all about the final week of that season. So basically, my son, young Benji boy, we didn't know it was going to be Benji boy or Benji girl at the time, and he was due to appear 2 weeks before his birth. And needless to say, there was plenty of time. I'd already booked my place to go over to Spain. I was cut in a bit tight with the FA Cup final against Newcastle, but anyway, I had to pay £330 to a company, a lot of us did, called Mill West. Included our flights, our transfers, our accommodation, and most importantly, that match ticket to go to the Nou Camp to see us play in the final. So I was quite happy with that. We were going to be flying out on the Tuesday before the game, which was obviously the 25th. But plenty of time because Benjamin was due to arrive 2 weeks before that. Well, here we go. It came to the last game of the season at Old Trafford against Spurs, and he still hasn't turned up. So I drove down there. No way I was going to get that bus, just in case I got the phone call to say, "Oh, your wife's going into labour and I won't be able to get back." So I drove down to that. When it came to the following Saturday, when He was when it's FA Cup final. Guess what? He still hadn't turned up, so I knew by then that there's no point trying to get a ticket for the final, and decided to not even bother knocking and knock that one completely in the head, and sat in the house and watched that on my own because all my mates had gone to the final. So the following week, it really was touch and go. On to nothing happened Saturday. I think he got taken into. My wife went into labour, taken to the hospital. Saturday nothing happened. Sunday nothing happened. Monday I got a phone call to come in, and they were going to try and do a C-section. And Benjamin was born Monday by a C-section at 10 o'clock in the morning. At that point I was happy that I would be able to leave for Barcelona knowing that I'd witnessed my son's birth. If Benjamin hadn't arrived by that time, I definitely wouldn't have been going. So anyway, Monday night I stayed with my wife and my son all day long, and then Monday I probably left about 8 o'clock, went to bed. The next morning a group of us travelled from all up down to Glasgow to go down to Manchester. I went in my car, took people with me, and we got to Glasgow Airport, whereupon we met by a representative of Mill West who was going to give us our match tickets and our plane tickets. But he didn't give us our match tickets. He gave us our plane tickets. Some guy, a courier turned up. Here you go, lads. Bang, 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 bang. So then, of course, we at least we're getting on the plane. We says, when are we going to get our match tickets? And he says, you'll get them by a representative over in Barcelona. Okay, fair dues. So we all got, had a few drinks in the Manchester airport. We got our flight, our book flight with some sort of Swedish airplane bunch, got over to Barcelona, hoping to be met by a representative of Mill West. There was none there. There was nobody there at all. So the whole plane of us touched down. We didn't know where we were going. We don't know where our accommodation was. We didn't know where we were staying the night, and it was just an utter shambles. Then we just saw somebody spied a coach a bit outside the airport, and we went down, and on the front of the coach it says Mill West. So we all piled into that. Whereupon the drivers took us to some hotel in Salou. We all got out the bus, got into the hotel, and the guy said, was looking, shaking his head, saying, "No, you're not in here, lads. I think you're across." Well, in Spanish, of course. "I think you're across the road." And when we went across the road, sure enough, we were all from the Glasgow Reds, all booked to stay in this hotel. Again, we went to the hotel. "Have you got our tickets, our match tickets?" "No, we haven't." And I was getting considerably worried at this point. So at least we're in there, we had our accommodation, and we're supposed to be getting transfers next day. We went out on the town in Salou that night and had a few drinks again, whereupon we met a guy from Mill West in a pub. He told us, "Don't worry lads, you'll definitely get your tickets." So next thing is all the nerves went. I was quite calm and was quite confident that I would be going to the final. So the next morning we woke up and we waited and waited for the coaches to take us to the new camp. And nothing happened. Those who had a ticket decided not to hang around and to get a train into Barcelona. The rest of us who were waiting for our tickets through Mill West waited and waited as coach after coach after coach passed our hotel in Salou. So finally one did pull up. We all got onto it, and we said to the representative, "Have you got our tickets?" And she says, "No, you will get your tickets outside the stadium from a representative of Mill West." And we thought, right, okay, that's fair dues. So quite joyous and buoyant, had a few drinks on the bus, going to Salou. From Salou to the new camp, got in, saw it. It's a lovely day, it's fantastic weather, and we got outside the new camp, the coach party. The person said, "You'll get your representative down there." We all came off the coach, and I thought, right, so where's the Mill West representative with our match ticket? And I started shouting out, me and another guy called Alan Green from the Glasgow Reds, started shouting out, "Mill West, Mill West, Mill West." And eventually a guy came up to me, a United fan, and said, "You looking for Mill West?" I says, "Aye." He says, "They're not here, mate." I says, "What are you on about?" He says, "There are no tickets, it's a scam." I says, You're kidding me on." He says, No, it's a scam. There are no match tickets. Nobody who's booked through Mill West has got a match ticket. And literally I was crestfallen, getting all that way, and to be outside the new camp and not being able to get into the biggest game of my life. I didn't think I'd go to another Champions League, it's European Cup. I think I'd never go to another European Cup Champions League final As it is, I went to 3 more after 1999. And I was crestfallen, and I just started walking around thinking, I've got no money. So I literally had my credit card with me. I went up to the probably only auto bank in the area, and it still had money, and I put in, and I could withdraw 350 quid max, and that was it. And I just thought, if I can't get a ticket for 350 quid, I'm going to spend the 350 quid. It was quite a lot of money in 1999 for a ticket, but I thought, I've come all this way, I'm not going back empty-handed. And there was a guy who was a season ticket holder with Barcelona selling his 2 briefs. So me and Alan Green went up, and I said, are they genuine? He says, yes, they're genuine. He says, 2 tickets. I said, how much each? He said, 350 quid each. If it said 400, I was buggered. And I went, okay. And I gave him the 350 quid. And then I absolutely, and in fact, there's United fans around me just say, just run away, mate. I'm going, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll give the guy his money. And then I could relax. And I spent the rest of the afternoon having drinks with Alan Green and getting sunburned. We made our way to the new camp with a brief in hand, and we waited outside shouting out, if you all hate Mill West, clap your hands, and a few joined in, until eventually we got into the new camp, only to find out we were in the German section. So there we go, we were in the German section, full of the Bayern Munich fans, who actually were on good form. They were very friendly. We all posed for photographs beforehand. We had beers. Apparently, we thought they were alcoholic beers. Apparently, I've been told subsequently that they might have been non-alcoholic beers. But I drunk enough alcohol that day, it didn't really matter to me. And we got ready for the game. I was sat amongst the Bayern Munich fans. There was a few Reds here and there. On my left, wearing the 1968 European Cup top was Pete Boyle. Boyley was over there, he lighting up a big fat cigar. Remember, he was over to my left. He'd ended up in the German end as well. And so we would, it's probably in line with the goal that never saw any action. Because, of course, it all kicked off. And, of course, we can see that really stupid goal from the free kick. I think it was probably Schmeichel's fault. Or it might have been unsighted, I don't know. And then all the other action of hitting the post and hitting the crossbar happened right in front to the sideline where we were. And time was moving on and on. I was thinking, I don't believe it, I've come all this way. However, I've got a newborn baby to go back to, so, you know, just put this down to experience. And then, of course, Schmeichel went up. I saw him running up, because I was right in front of the goal mouth, and he started running up, and I just thought, oh my God. And we hadn't played very well. In fact, it was probably the worst performance I'd seen of us, apart from the 2 I'd seen us losing all season. We were shit. We were really, really bad. I don't know what was going on. Even the team selection and tactics, people playing out of position. It was the oddest thing I'd ever seen. And Schmeichel goes running up, and obviously he must have confirmed the Germans. He didn't know who to mark him. And of course, we know that Giggsy took that shot. It was a bit of a shit shot, to be honest with you. And then, of course, Sheringham scored. And he probably thought it was offside. And we went absolutely ballistic. And I started jumping up and down and everything else. And we just couldn't believe it. We were too busy celebrating. Literally, this is absolutely true. I was so busy celebrating that I don't even remember the second goal going in. Literally, I was thinking, I was too elated about the first goal going in. I must have been looking over that way. And then we got the corner and Solskjaer scores. And it was bedlam. It was utter bedlam. And I wish I could say I can remember that goal going in, but I just remember the bedlam after it. I can remember the first goal more, but the second goal, it was utter bedlam. It was just unbelievable. And I was hugging everybody. Of course, me and Alan were hugging each other. The Bayern Munich fans were they didn't want hugging. Literally, the guys had their hand. They were crying. Their hands. You know, I was right amongst these guys. And literally, 2 minutes later, the game was over. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And I tried to get a Bayern Munich lassie fan wearing a top. She posed with photographs. She took a picture of me and Alan Green. And the cup got paraded around. and it was fantastic. In fact, the footage from the footage from the Amazon Prime showed lots of camera angles I've never seen in my life, and it was fantastic. Even a few from the fan section. I never took my video camera in because I tried to take it in at the last game at Old Trafford and got confiscated by a steward because it was a huge big thing about that big. So I thought I'm not taking chances. However, I did video on the plane going out, video on the plane going back and back when I got to Salou. And the celebrations were amazing. And this one lassie, I tried to get her to swap tops. I wanted her to have my top. Yes, this is the actual top I wore on that night. In fact, here is the top I wore when young Benji was born. Guess what? I can't get into this one anymore, but I can just about get into this one. And she wouldn't swap tops. Surprise, surprise. She says no, because obviously she would have to take off her top anyway. But I tried to swap tops. So she didn't, but however, she took a photo of me and Alan Green, and it's one I always treasure. Or it's the only picture of me in the new camp to prove I was actually there. And then we just hung around for ages and ages and ages. Just took it all in. Just took in an amazing 10 days that we won the league, being a goal behind. We won the FA Cup. My son was born, and then I got into the new camp despite everything saying that I wasn't going to get in there, all the Mill West fuck-ups, and luckily to get exactly the amount of money out of the autobank machine with the only credit card I took over. So we all left, streamed onto the closest bus we could get back to Salou. Me and Alan hid at the back, and we pretended we had seats we didn't, and the two policemen hooked us off. So then we got on another bus, got back to the coach, got let off, went in. The bars, there were loads of people at the bars who never got to the game, or ones that had got, the only few people who got, a few people who had mobile phones and got already told, don't bother going to the new camp, there's no tickets, unless you've got 350 quid. Stayed up till about 2-3 in the morning, went to the hotel, the rest of the lads turned in, they didn't know, we'd all separated in the morning, they get going, where's Tell, did you get intel? And I told them my story, they told me their stories. And we had, next morning, a few sore heads. We all ended up going to the airport, where we hung around from 10 till 10, 12 hours at that airport, because the company, Mill West, hadn't settled the bill with the travel firm to get us home. And I think a call was made back to the Minister for Sport in Britain, allegedly, this may be an urban myth, and he managed to get us home. So we managed to get a plane about 10 in the evening. I got home about 6 in the morning, a few hours sleep, and then I went to the hospital and picked up my son and brought my new boy home and my wife, and it was the greatest week of my life. It's every time it is this week, I always think about becoming a dad for the first time and what happened in the new camp in 1999. So I feel sorry for the boys and girls these days, because I think the way we won the treble, the teams we played, the players that we brought through that class of 1999 or whatever it was, that'll never happen again, not in my lifetime. And I feel sorry for United fans today that we seem to be back to where we were, where I was in the 70s, whereupon other teams dominated the league. It was Liverpool back then, and the only thing we could try to win was the FA Cup, and which we did do, and we actually stopped Liverpool winning the FA Cup, winning the treble in 1977 by beating them at Wembley. So I just thought I'd leave my memories with you, because in another 25 years I will be getting on a bit, and I might not make another 25 years. So I thought I'd leave this as a sort of souvenir in case I get a bit confused and can't remember what actually happened on the day. Lots of other people have other experiences similar to mine. And if you can ever get to see United at a Champions League final again, best of luck, and I hope it does happen again. I know we'll never get to another one. Going to 4, seeing us winning 2, losing 2, 50% success record, but 1999 absolutely eclipses what happened in 2008 in Moscow for me, just because of the manner that we won it and because of my son being born 2 days before. So yeah, great experience. And to be honest with you, the past 25 years have gone like that. So it just shows. Make the most of it, everybody. Enjoy the break. Hopefully England can win something this year. I'd say that every 2 years England will actually do something, and we don't do, because I'm a big England supporter. And this top will be getting changed into my England top very soon. This top has actually been signed by Fergie, Maisie and Jaap Stam, although unfortunately my wife put it in the washing and Fergie's handwriting is faded a wee bit now. But yeah, hopefully England can win something this year. I'd like to see that before I shuffle off this earth. I can see England at least win something instead of just being perennial losers, competition after competition. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, that I never bored any of you too much, and enjoy your summer, and hopefully next season, regardless who our manager is, hopefully we can have a better season, and we can just see us playing competitive football again in the United way. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.